The Innkeepers, 2011, directed by T. West, is a supernatural horror film that revolves around the eerie experiences of two employees working at a supposedly haunted hotel. The film strikes a balance between suspense, slow-burn horror, and dark humor. Set in the historical and rundown Yankee Peddler Inn, the story centers on the two main characters, Claire and Luke, who are both employees at the inn, and their interactions with the inn's long and storied history, especially its alleged paranormal activity. The movie opens with a glimpse of the Yankee Peddler Inn. It's an old, decaying hotel with a rich history, and as the camera lingers on the exterior of the building, there's a feeling of discomfort and suspense. The hotel is located in Torrington, Connecticut, and though it was once a lavish establishment, it now appears worn down and barely functional. The setting itself suggests the slow decay of time, both the building and the reputation it once held. The movie's setting is important because it lays the foundation for the eerie atmosphere that will permeate the rest of the film. It's not just a building, it's a character in its own right, embodying the memories of the past and the mystery that surrounds it. The movie introduces the two central characters, Claire, Sarah Paxton, and Luke, Pat Healy, who are the only staff members working at the hotel during its final days of operation. Claire is a young woman who seems somewhat jaded and detached from her surroundings. She is polite and friendly, but deeply skeptical of the supernatural claims surrounding the hotel. Her appearance suggests someone who has been around the block a few times and has little belief in ghost stories. Luke, on the other hand, is Claire's older colleague who is a bit more sarcastic and curious. He seems to be obsessed with the idea of ghosts and haunts. His interest in the paranormal is not just casual, it's almost obsessive. His goal is to investigate the hotel's haunted history, and throughout the movie, he often demonstrates a fascination with the idea of capturing evidence of the supernatural. Luke's obsession sets him apart from Claire, who is more grounded and disinterested in such matters. The Yankee Peddler Inn has a long history that ties into the paranormal, and its reputation as a haunted location becomes a major theme of the movie. According to local legend, the inn was once a lavish, high-class establishment, but over time, it fell into disrepair as the area around it became less popular. However, its reputation as a haunted site continued to grow over the years, attracting thrill seekers and those interested in paranormal activity. The two employees, Claire and Luke, are aware of the hotel's history but react to it in different ways. Claire is cynical and does not believe in ghosts, while Luke is obsessed with the idea of encountering one. He has been using the downtime of the inn's last days to investigate the claims, and, armed with a video camera and ghost hunting equipment, he sets out to uncover some supernatural proof. Luke is motivated by the prospect of documenting a ghost on film, hoping that this would validate his interest in the paranormal. As the movie progresses, Luke and Claire begin to experience strange occurrences at the inn. Their shifts are uneventful at first, but it becomes clear that something is off about the building. A series of odd sounds, cold spots, and unexplained noises begin to plague them during the night. For instance, there are incidents of flickering lights, creaking floors, and the sound of footsteps when no one else is around. These subtle occurrences start to build the tension and make the audience aware that the hotel is not as empty as it first seems. Claire, despite her skepticism, starts to feel the weight of the building's dark past. She begins to feel increasingly uneasy, though she doesn't immediately embrace the idea of a haunting. Meanwhile, Luke is not only documenting these incidents, but also excitedly pursuing the idea of capturing evidence of a ghost. He seems almost obsessed with the idea of proving that the paranormal is real, and his attempts at getting proof grow more intense. The inn, while mostly empty, has a few guests, including a mysterious older woman named Leanne Rhys-Jones, played by Kelly McGillis, who stays at the inn. Leanne's presence adds an extra layer of mystery to the narrative, as she appears to be a guest with a personal connection to the inn's history. Leanne is a former actress whose life has been marred by tragedy, and she seems to have come to the inn for reasons that are not entirely clear. Leanne is a complex character who provides some insight into the inn's haunted past. Throughout the movie, she is presented as someone who has a dark, troubled history and who may be hiding more than she initially lets on. As the story progresses, Leanne becomes more engaged in the mystery of the inn. She begins to divulge unsettling information to Claire, suggesting that the inn may be more dangerous than Claire had initially believed. While Luke continues to obsessively document ghostly occurrences, Claire reluctantly begins to open up to the idea of the supernatural. She shares her suspicions with Leanne, leading to a deeper understanding of the hotel's tragic past. Through these conversations, it becomes clear that the inn is connected to an old, unresolved tragedy involving death and loss, which seems to have left a lingering presence in the building. The supernatural activity escalates further as the movie progresses. One of the most important moments in the film comes when Claire and Luke discover a room in the hotel that is locked and seemingly hidden from the rest of the building. This room is pivotal in the narrative and serves as a key element in the supernatural mystery. As they investigate this room and the events surrounding it, Claire's skepticism starts to fade, and she begins to believe that there is something real and malevolent haunting the inn. The supernatural forces grow more aggressive and disturbing, leading to several terrifying experiences for the characters. The camera, at this point, starts to focus on subtle cues that suggest the presence of something unseen: shadows in the corners, faint voices, and strange cold drafts. The turning point in the movie comes when Claire, alone in the inn, begins to experience intense paranormal activity. This section of the film is where the horror becomes more tangible. Claire's skepticism is shattered when she has a direct encounter with the ghosts of the inn. The tension builds as she experiences more and more terrifying phenomena: lights flickering, doors slamming, and objects moving on their own. The camera works and sound design heighten the atmosphere, amplifying the audience's sense of dread as Claire faces the ghosts head-on. The climactic moment occurs when Claire is trapped in the hotel with the malevolent spirits. She must confront the truth about the inn's haunted past and uncover the mystery behind the deaths that occurred there. The ghosts are not just trying to scare her. They are trying to send a message about the unresolved tragedy that has stained the hotel's history. As Claire explores the inn's history, she realizes that the spirits are the restless souls of people who died in or around the hotel. This discovery leads to a chilling revelation about the nature of the ghosts and what they want from the living. The final confrontation between Claire and the ghosts is harrowing, as she faces not only the supernatural forces at work, but also her own fears and insecurities. In the movie's final act, Claire faces the full brunt of the paranormal activity. In a nerve-wracking sequence, she attempts to escape from the hotel, but the spirits seem to have trapped her within its walls. The tension is palpable as she tries to make sense of everything that has happened, and the movie's pacing quickens to create an atmosphere of sheer dread. The climax of the film is ambiguous and open-ended, leaving questions about the fate of the characters unresolved. In the end, Claire is left to grapple with the consequences of her experiences at the inn. The supernatural forces have not been fully explained, and the movie concludes with the suggestion that the haunting may never truly end, leaving the audience with lingering questions. The Innkeepers is not just a ghost story. It also explores themes of loss, memory, and the passage of time. The haunting of the Yankee Peddler Inn is symbolic of the way people's lives, once vibrant and full of energy, can fade into oblivion over time. The hotel itself represents the erosion of the past, with its haunted halls serving as a reminder of lives lost and stories left untold. The film also delves into the idea of closure and whether the restless spirits of the hotel can ever find peace. It suggests that some tragedies are too complex or unresolved to ever truly be put to rest, which is reflected in the fate of the spirits haunting the hotel. In this way, the ghosts are not just supernatural beings. They are manifestations of unresolved emotional and spiritual turmoil. The Innkeepers, 2011, is a slow-burn horror film that mixes suspense with subtle terror, making use of atmosphere, character development, and tension rather than relying solely on jump scares. The plot slowly builds as it reveals the haunting history of the inn, and its conclusion is open-ended, leaving viewers with a sense of lingering dread and ambiguity. The film's exploration of the supernatural, the passage of time, and human loss makes it a thoughtful and chilling addition to the horror genre.